be the best actor. I still have a chip on my shoulder to prove that. I'm not in award-winning conversations. I want to be in those conversations. He said they're going to offer you a lot of money, but the roles are going to be bad. You're just another big muscle head trying to be an actor. You just want to be a movie star. I've never had a director until Denny, since Denny, say to me that you're a very strong actor.
Bautista's doing some real movies, man.
He is. He's challenging himself.
That Glass Onion movie, that's
Yeah.
a great fucking movie, man. He was great in that.
Yeah.
You told me in an interview years ago you'd rather go broke than wrestle again.
I will not have another wrestling match. I will go broke before I have another wrestling match, and I will not go and wrestle for another promotion.
And people were like, what do you mean rather go broke? Like, he doesn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
They don't realize your story.
When I was a kid, we were, a lot of times we didn't have food. Me, my mom, and my sister slept in a basement of a house in DC, and we all shared one bed. I didn't grow up with money. I grew up with less than no money. And so I started, I was an athletic person. I was enormous. And I thought, I'll give wrestling a shot. And that was kind of it. That's where my journey started. But even after that, it was a long, long road. A lot of people didn't believe in me. I did an episode of Smallville, and I did it because I was a fan. I was a fanboy. I wanted to be on a Superman-related show and just had no interest in acting. It was, I wouldn't say I did a film and it made me fall in love with acting. I did a film that made me want to be better at acting. And I went and I did this film and I realized what a horrible actor I was. Like, so bad. I was really embarrassed and I just wanted to prove to myself.
And that's what you were part of. This guy was part of peak entertainment. You look at Cena, The Rock, Kurt Angle. This was all every Monday, every Sunday, every Thursday, every Friday. Everybody's a star. They stayed stars.
I wanted to challenge myself. And I wanted to be better, and I just didn't want to settle. Now,
What advice did Rock give you?
We had talked a little bit, beforehand, even when I wanted to go on film, about going into it. And, it's a very hard transition. And you're already under a microscope because people, for one, they label you. But then they also, everybody will look for every excuse, every reason they can to be negative about what you're doing. You're just another big muscle head trying to be an actor. You just want to be a movie star. But also, and he put it just in the perfect way, because I was really finding it hard. I always thought it was amazing that he was actually able to go from film to wrestling, to film to wrestling, to film to wrestling. And he described it as quicksand. He said, man, especially with the company, because WWE, they're very controlling. They're not the easiest company to deal with. And he was like, it's quicksand, man. He said, don't get caught in the quicksand. You're not trapped here, man. You have to be strong. You have to, stand your ground. And if this is what you want to do, you have to make them know, make it known that this is what you're going to do, and you're not going to deviate from that plan. Not going to be flexible about it. This is what you got to do.
You think I won't quit? You think I won't do it?
So that's what I did. When I went back for my short stint with the WWE, I said, this is how long I can stay. I can't stay any longer because I've got these other obligations. So he made it work for me. He helped me make it work. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And he said?
He said, we had a talk one day and he knew I was leaving and I wanted to pursue acting. And he said, look, when you right out of the gate, you're going to get offered all these really bad roles. He said, they're going to offer you a lot of money, but the roles are going to be bad and you're going to be stuck in this straight to DVD world. And he said, just suck it up, pass on them. And so he said he kind of got stuck in that rut and he regretted it. So he was passing on that knowledge to me. And I did. I took his word.
Wow. And so you passed on
a lot of films. And I went broke.
Wow.
But I just held out because I really wanted good acting roles. And I wanted to, I wanted a longevity in this.
And do you think you passing on those made you more attractive to the people offering them? I mean, did it make them see you in a different way?
No, I don't think so. I think, the people that were offering me those roles, they knew that I was named from the WWE and they wanted to capitalize on that audience.
Right.
But it wasn't going to further me as an actor, and that's what I wanted. It's probably a double-edged sword. I think a lot of times, it may have opened some doors for me because they knew I was involved with WWE. Sometimes they weren't, the best doors to walk through. At the same time, it closed a lot of doors, I believe, because they automatically had a perception of me and slapped a label on me, and that's what I was. I was a big dumb muscle-bound wrestler who hit people with chairs, and that's all I was.
Well, even your character though in WWE wasn't like that though. I mean, in the beginning he was like a silent guy, but then eventually he evolved.
But I think that's the thing. I think some people, who are fans will know that. But for the most part, you know, breaking into Hollywood, the people that I was auditioning for and going out and talking to, they weren't fans.
People are you're met with a lot of cynicism, all right? And no, you're not going to do it. You're not going to make it. But you got to fight through that. And you got to listen to the voice inside.
Then he actually called me. He called me, and he didn't say, "Hey, can you come audition for this part?" He said, "Hey, I would like to cast you as Raban. What do you think?" And I said, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
James Gunn changed my life. His belief in me, his support of me changed my life. But our conversations have been different. Denny supports me in a different way. Our conversations are more intimate. I've never had a director until Denny, since Denny, say to me that you're a very strong actor. And he said this to me on the first film. I was holding back because I was self-conscious, and I was very unsure of myself. And he came to me, he said, "I feel like you're holding back." He said, "You're a very strong actor, my friend, just follow your instincts." And so I started belting it out. I started finding this character. And he not only loved it so much, but he was so supportive of my performance that he wanted to capture other people's reaction to my performance. And so when you're getting that kind of support, it's like, I mean, it wasn't an experience I've had before or since with a director of that caliber. So it means it's everything, it's validation. I fell in love with this guy, you know, on our Zoom calls. Like before he even offered me the part, we just kind of, I don't know, we just kind of clicked and connected. And I had so much respect for him. And I loved that he actually didn't see me as a big meathead. You know, he saw me as an artist, and that like means the world to me. Working with Knight was a different experience than I've ever had. He's just so precise in everything that he does, and down to the tiniest little word and how you say the word. It's you know, challenging, but in like the best way, because I felt like this role would just make me a better actor, and it would prove a point, because I think nobody's ever seen me in this type of character before, but Knight really believed that I could play this character. It was a different experience from A to Z. I've never experienced anything like working with Knight, and I loved it, and I'd sign up again.
Really what I fought for, like this, I wanted respect from people like Denis Villeneuve. You know, this was kind of the credibility that I wanted, that I passed up on a lot of roles that would have just, you know, put me in, you know, it would have stereotyped me, they would have typecast me, and I passed up on a lot of those roles because I wanted to be offered these types of roles. Like, I really love acting, and I want to be respected as an actor.
Do not sleep on Dave Bautista. This man has range. Even though we prominently know him as Drax the Destroyer, he is much more than just his role. But watch the movie Knock at the Cabin. I swear this won't be a question. Off this movie alone puts him at #1 for me.